This is the Dell Precision 5680, and it is one of the best PC laptops that I've ever used for video editing. Mild spoiler for how I feel about this laptop out of the way. In this video, I'm going to be reviewing this laptop from the perspective of a video editor. So if you are someone that's looking for a powerful video editing laptop, keep watching. Also, for the sake of ethics, I want you to know this video is not paid or sponsored by Dell, but this laptop was provided to me by them. Now, if you have watched my previous videos, you will know that I've made video reviews of the XPS 15 in 2018 and the XPS 17 in 2021. But this laptop is different because this is from Dell's Precision line of workstation laptops, meaning that it is significantly more focused on productivity than anything else. And while you could technically game on it, the graphics card in it is one of NVIDIA's Ada GPUs that's really more focused on high-level productivity and not games. Productivity like video editing. So let's talk about the Precision 5680, starting with its build quality and features, because this is easily one of the best built PC laptops that I've ever used, and I would say that it competes very well with one of Apple's MacBook Pros. Everything is well put together, there's no weird gaps or chassis flex, and most importantly, in my opinion, Dell is not chasing trends and fads with their Precision line of workstations like they have with their XPS line. Specifically, the new XPS 14 and 16 that released in early 24 have a lot of unnecessary features and weird compromises in their design that affect productivity as a creator that are not present on the Precision. Most egregiously, these new XPS laptops have replaced the function row as well as the escape key at the top with a touch-sensitive bar of icons that light up when you tap on them, and while this can look really cool in pictures, actually using it is a major pain. In short, it feels like Dell saw everything Apple was doing with their touch bar on their Macs, ignored all of the complaints the users had about it, saw that Apple was discontinuing the touch bar and said, hey, this is our time to have a touch bar with none of our competitors using it, so they added it in. Thankfully, the Precision 5680 does not have any of these issues. It has a normal function key row. It has a touchpad with edges, and most importantly, it has a full-size SD card slot. Anyways, rant over in regards to the XPS 14 and 16 versus the Precision. If you're a creator, it's a no-brainer to buy the Precision with all of its features and capabilities, and I find it pretty much perfectly positioned to compete with a MacBook Pro. Moving on, let's talk about more features of this laptop, and to start, we need to go back to the trackpad because this is a force touch style trackpad, meaning that it does not actually click anytime you press down on it. Instead, a haptic motor is going to give you feedback that feels like a click. I find this click feedback to feel good, but also slightly weak. I wish it was just a bit stronger of a vibration whenever you click. That said, compared to the XPS 17, where I always felt myself needing to click in the bottom left corner, you can now click anywhere and the laptop will click properly, which is great. In addition, this laptop comes with a fingerprint reader and Windows Hello, which is a feature where the webcam will scan your face and log you in. And I find this to be extremely convenient, and I'm frankly shocked that Apple has not introduced Face ID into their MacBooks yet. You can't log in with your face on a MacBook, but Dell has been doing this for years with their laptops, so point for them. Now, as far as speakers go, for the Precision, in Dell's marketing, they say that it has 4 grade A speakers. I'm not going to do a direct comparison between the Dell and a MacBook speakers because I do not have a MacBook handy to do that, but to my ears, these are some of the best speakers that Dell has ever put into a laptop, and they sound significantly better than my XPS 17, which already had quite good speakers. That said, if you are a video editor, you're not going to want to use the built-in speakers on any laptop. You're going to want to use headphones, which thankfully, this laptop does have a headphone jack, so plug in some headphones and edit your videos that way. Let's now get into things that video editors are really going to care about, starting with the screen. Following in the tradition of Dell laptops that I've owned, save for my first way back in 2005, the Precision 5680 unsurprisingly comes with a 16:10 OLED screen, and it looks absolutely fantastic. The colors are vibrant and the contrast is unbeatable. But if you're a video editor, you're probably wondering about the screen color accuracy, because if the colors aren't correct on the screen, you're not going to be able to color grade your videos properly. Well, here's where things get really interesting, because I ran into a significant issue with my XPS 17 screen that took me a while to figure out. Let me explain. The screen on my XPS 17 looked gorgeous, but after using it for a few months, I realized that while I had color calibrated the screen using my Spider color corrector, which reported that the screen colors were accurate, I was running into an issue where the footage that I was editing on the XPS 17 looked significantly more saturated and contrasty than it did on any other screen. I could literally color grade a video on the XPS 17, then bring that same video project over to a different computer, and the colors would not look nearly as good. This even led to me uploading a video that I had color graded on the XPS 17, and me receiving comments on YouTube from people asking why the colors look so washed out. I spent quite a while trying to fix this, including recalibrating the screen, downloading Dell's Premiere Color application, which lets you adjust the colors that the screen is showing, and even reaching out to Dell and making them aware of the issue. But after doing all that, I never found a fix for it. And while I would still edit videos on my XPS 17 from time to time, I would not trust it for color grading, and I would wait till I was home with my desktop with a screen that I knew had accurate colors to color grade it properly. Back to the Precision 5680 now. I am so pleased to tell you that it does not suffer from any of these issues. And in my testing, the colors look the same on this laptop as they do on any other computer that I've tested it on, meaning that if you want to use this laptop for color grading, you can expect it to be accurate. It's not surprising considering this laptop is a workstation that is purpose-built for content creation and other work like it, but I'm glad to see this color accuracy. And as a plus, at the time of making this video, Apple is still not putting OLED screens in their MacBooks, and to my eyes, this screen is prettier and one of the best that you can get in a laptop today. Now, let's talk about battery life. And this is an area where the Precision performs well for a PC laptop, but if we're comparing it to a Mac, it's not going to do as well. And there are two big reasons for this. First, Apple's laptops with their new Apple Silicon chips are some of the most efficient laptops that you can buy today, giving you great battery life even with a heavy workload like video editing. With the Precision 5680, like I said, the battery life is still good for a PC, but I would expect it to be more in the range of 3 to 4 hours when video editing. There is also a significantly bigger issue than the battery life though, and I'm going to preface this by telling you that this is an issue that all PC laptops that I've ever used have faced, so this is more of an issue with Windows and how it handles laptops on battery versus how Macs handle laptops on battery. The issue is that if your PC laptop is on battery power and not plugged in, even if you have gone into Windows settings and told it to use maximum power while on battery, Windows is going to do its own thing, and it's not going to listen to you. And what you're going to discover is that your computer power is going to be limited when using it on battery versus when it's plugged in. Like I said, this is a known issue. Dell is quite aware of it. They even have a feature in their Dell optimization app that they include with the laptop that says that it will prioritize foreground apps on battery power. But whenever I enabled this feature on the laptop, I did not see any improvement in rendering speeds. What this means is that if you are using a Mac on battery power, it will perform virtually identically to how it will perform when plugged in, which means for you as a video editor, you're going to be able to edit and render videos quickly, even on battery. With a PC laptop like the Dell Precision, if you're editing or rendering a video on battery power, you are going to notice that it feels and performs slower when editing on battery. It's still usable, but you will definitely notice a difference in battery power versus whenever you plug it in. If you want a real-world example of this difference in power on battery versus plugged in, let's dive in and talk about how fast this laptop is for video editing. And specifically, I want to talk about it in two of the most important ways a laptop will affect you if you are a video editor. First, let's talk about timeline performance. This is how fast and responsive the laptop is going to be when it comes to you clicking around in your video editing software, starting and stopping video playback, making cuts, speed ramping, all the normal things that you're doing when editing a video. In my experience, editing with this laptop is quite fast, and I did not experience any slowdown or stutters when editing H.265 10-bit footage from my Sony a7S III in DaVinci Resolve while plugged in, and only minimal stutters when on battery power, where the laptop would sometimes stutter when playing back the timeline, especially with high frame rate clips that had been edited and color graded. Thankfully, there were literally zero hiccups when plugged in, and the laptop performed flawlessly. For context too, I want you to know this laptop has been equipped with an i9-13900H processor, 64 gigs of RAM, and an NVIDIA RTX 5000 Ada GPU inside, so it is quite powerful. Now, the second thing other than timeline performance that's going to affect you as a video editor is how fast this laptop can export and render a video. To be clear, you're going to spend significantly more time editing the video than rendering it, so the timeline speed is really what is important, and that's why we talked about it. But the nice thing about rendering and exporting a video is that you have a timer that will tell you exactly how long rendering took, which is a great way to benchmark a laptop. In the case of the Precision 5680, when I exported a 4-minute 4K wedding video with my LUTs applied in H.264 at 100 megabits per second in DaVinci Resolve, the video was exported in just 2 minutes and 7 seconds while plugged in. Then, remembering that the laptop is not going to perform as quickly when it comes to being on battery power as it is when plugged in, exporting that same 5-minute 4K video file on battery power, the laptop took 3 minutes and 17 seconds. So, as you can see, it is slower. But I would still consider 3 minutes quite respectable for rendering a video. Now, what happens whenever a laptop renders a video? Everything heats up. The CPU and GPU are generating heat as they're processing the video, and this heat has to go somewhere, so Dell, of course, has to put fans in their laptop. But how are those fans going to sound to your ears? Are they pleasant fans to listen to, or are they unpleasant? For context, with my Dell XPS 15 from 2018, I really hated how those fans sounded. They were really loud and high-pitched, and you could definitely tell the laptop was straining to cool itself while rendering. Then came in my XPS 17. It had a larger chassis, which gave it better cooling, and the fans were tweaked as well to make them less loud and more appealing. But I still felt like they were running maxed out pretty much all the time whenever I was exporting or rendering a video. With the Precision 5680, it appears that Dell has tweaked these fans again, and they sound lower in tone to my ears compared to the XPS 17, which is definitely more pleasant. More importantly, they don't seem to run quite as often. When editing a video, I found the fans to be running pretty consistently at about half speed when they were on, but it wasn't very intrusive. It's only when I wanted to render a video that the fans would ramp up to full speed. So, should you buy this laptop? If your toss-up is between the Dell 5680 or a MacBook, I think that each have their pros and cons, with the Dell having comparable build quality, ports, and speed. The Mac is still going to win on the battery life front, but in my opinion, the Dell wins on the screen with an OLED that looks fantastic and still has me wondering why Apple has not put something like this in their Macs. And like I said at the start of this review, in my opinion, this is one of the best PC laptops that you can buy today. And if you're looking for an extremely powerful Windows laptop for video editing, I think that Dell has crafted a stellar workstation here with a fantastic build quality, color accurate screen that's free of issues, good sounding speakers, accurate trackpad, and above all, internals that are capable of easily editing 4K video in the latest camera codecs. So the Dell 5680 is a fantastic choice for video editors. And you know what else is a fantastic choice? Downloading my edit videos like a pro guide. This guide is going to show you some of the most important things that took me years to learn as a video editor, and regardless of the software that you use, you are going to learn something from this guide. It's completely free, and you can download it at the link down below. Thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what other videos you want to see me make, and have a great day.